Even though the Blood of Dawnwalker hasn't launched yet, the latest pre-beta gameplay showcase has given us a tantalizing look at what might be one of the most promising dark fantasy RPGs in years. Based on what's been officially revealed and building off the speculation we explored 3 months ago, our trailer breakdown here is a deep dive into everything we've seen so far, plus a few takeaways that highlight just how ambitious this game might be. Developed by Rebel Wolves, a new studio helmed by Konrad Tomašković, renowned for his work on The Witcher 3, the game runs on Unreal Engine 5 and is expected to launch on PS5, Xbox Series X, S, and PC in 2026. Despite being a fresh name, the team's extensive RPG experience sets a high bar for what's to come. The recent 21-minute gameplay video wastes no time plunging us into danger. It opens with Coen wounded, isolated, and clearly on edge staring down a ruthless bandit ambush outside the city walls. This isn't just a test of skill, it's a gut check. You feel his pulse, the weight of his sword, the tension in his breath. The encounter quickly makes it clear, this is not a world where you grow into strength, but one where survival demands you already have it. It's an unflinching introduction to the game's harsh reality, a perfect way to showcase not just the mechanics of combat, but the emotional tone and high stakes that define everything that follows. The opening doesn't feel like a tutorial, it feels like a warning. Combat is at the heart of Dawnwalker, offering directional strikes and blocks up, down, left, right, requiring players to read their enemies' movements and respond with precision. This isn't button mashing, it's timing, strategy, and prediction. Every successful parry or combo charges up activation points, which can be spent to unleash powerful skills like artery attack, a brutal finishing move that can decapitate enemies in a single blow. Combined with situational magic called hexes, the game allows for deeply tactical and brutal engagements that reward smart play. Players will also have to time their blocks and dodges against multiple enemy types, including aggressive beasts, undead warriors, and vampiric monstrosities that adapt their patterns as fights progress. These enemies don't just scale in difficulty, they learn from you, adapting to your tactics and punishing predictability. It's a chilling experience to watch a familiar foe suddenly counter a move that worked flawlessly minutes earlier. You're not just fighting enemies, you're being studied, stalked, and ultimately outwitted if you become complacent. This ever-evolving challenge forces you to stay unpredictable, reevaluating your approach with every new encounter. The constant tension between power and vulnerability keeps combat feeling razor-sharp and alive as each battle pushes your skill, timing, and creativity to new limits. During the day, Coen is fully human. He uses melee weapons, tactical positioning, and hexes like Burning Blood, which slowly drains enemy health over time at the cost of his own vitality. Healing doesn't happen automatically. You'll need to eat, rest, or use items. At night, everything changes. Coen becomes a vampire, unlocking supernatural powers like Shadow Step teleportation, plane shift wall crawling, focus mode highlighting loot and threats, and voracious bite, which lets you feed on enemies. But there's a catch, a hunger meter drains with each passing moment. Fail to feed and Coen descends into a frenzy, losing control. In this state, he lashes out at anyone nearby, friend, foe, or innocent bystander, blurring the lines between survival and savagery. Entire stealth missions can unravel, allies may turn on you, and irreversible damage can be done, all because hunger overtook reason. You'll also notice a 20-day countdown in the UI, a time-sensitive mechanic that adds urgency and strategy to your decisions without becoming a hard timer. This dual identity isn't just a gimmick, it redefines every moment of exploration, combat, and dialogue. It forces players to adapt not just their tactics, but their entire approach depending on the time of day and Coen's current form, offering an almost roguelike layer of variation. The day-night cycle doesn't just affect abilities, it changes how the world reacts to you. Some townsfolk may welcome Coen by day, but scream and flee at night. Quest availability shifts with the time of day, and certain areas are only accessible while in vampire form. Weather systems, lighting, and ambient noise evolve to reflect the shifting tone of the world. Whether you're stalking rooftops under a blood moon or navigating crowded markets under the sun, the game's atmosphere adapts dynamically to the passage of time. Players are encouraged to plan their movements strategically, optimizing the timing of events to align with the form they're in. The choices you make at different times can result in vastly different outcomes. Sneaking into a guarded estate at night may open up secret dialogue paths or hidden objectives that are simply unavailable during daylight hours. The game's world is centered around Svartrau, the capital city of the Kingdom of Vale Sangora. It's massive, with several distinct districts like Silvercry's the Noble Ward, Altenmark the Trade Hub, and the Middens its slums. Each area brings its own atmosphere, architecture, and local tensions that feed into the broader story. Beyond the city lie haunted forests, forgotten ruins, blood-soaked battlefields, and decaying monasteries. These aren't just pretty backdrops, they're loaded with random encounters, faction politics, hidden bosses, and deep lore that directly ties into the main narrative arc. The developers call this structure a narrative sandbox. Rather than dividing content into rigid main and side quests, the game lets every path feel significant. Player choices don't just determine outcomes, they reshape the world. Dynamic events can emerge while traveling, from vampire raids to clandestine duels between rival factions, permanently altering the state of the realm. This interconnected design ensures no two playthroughs unfold the same way. Where you go, who you align with, and what form Coen takes when he arrives, all of it feeds into an emergent story built entirely around your actions. There are also living systems layered into the world. Factions may wage war with one another off-screen unless the player intervenes. Regional economies fluctuate depending on your interactions. Sabotaging a merchant caravan might lead to inflation in a nearby village. These dynamic world mechanics add depth beyond combat and story, reinforcing the idea that your actions have consequences even when you're not looking. Characters remember your decisions, rumors spread between cities, and your choices can ripple across the entire map, opening or locking future opportunities. These systems build a world that's not only reactive, but also proactive, continuously evolving based on both narrative and gameplay momentum. Your skills are split into 3 branches: human, vampire, and shared. The human tree enhances swordplay and utility, while the vampire branch focuses on supernatural abilities and resource management. Shared skills like frugal witchcraft, which reduces the cost of hexes, add strategic flexibility. On top of that, you can unlock new active abilities mid-combat, allowing for build experimentation on the fly. It feels like a system designed for replayability and customization, where each playthrough can be mechanically distinct. The more you specialize, the more you risk being unbalanced against certain enemy types, forcing you to think beyond just damage numbers and into long-term adaptability. And unlike many modern RPGs, your build isn't just about combated effects, how NPCs talk to you, how quests resolve, and even how certain environments behave. The progression system actively encourages experimentation by rewarding hybrid builds and unexpected choices, creating a playground for theory crafters and narrative-focused players alike. We also get a glimpse of Xanthian Ancient Vampire and one of the toughest mid-game bosses. She exudes menace, a chilling presence that signals just how high the stakes have become. Her abilities include blood whips and a boiling blood timer that turns you into a ticking bomb if you don't win fast enough. But this isn't just another fight. She has her own backstory and motivations, and if you're careful or curious, you might even uncover her personal questline. Whether you kill her, avoid her, or try to understand her, the outcome shapes future events in your world. She's also tied to the cathedral's secret history, suggesting that confronting her may unlock previously inaccessible areas tied to the game's deepest lore. The fight itself is a masterclass in high-stakes pacing, combining boss mechanics with narrative intensity. Few RPGs manage to blend spectacle with story this effectively, but Dawnwalker seems to be making it a standard. NPCs aren't just window dressing, their behavior changes based on your actions. Guards grow suspicious if you act out of line. Civilians react to events unfolding around them. You'll see scenes like guards banging on a door, hinting at side quests or broader world events. Reputation and alignment play a role here. If you wreak havoc in vampire form, your human self may face consequences. Likewise, forming alliances or making enemies affects how you're treated in cities and questlines. This feedback loop between player action and world reaction pushes the game closer to a living simulation than a traditional RPG framework. These systems build a world that feels alive, where narrative depth isn't just told, it's shown in how the world evolves around you. Even seemingly minor choices like whom to spare, what to read, or when to act can cascade into far-reaching outcomes that shift your path and redefine your purpose. You're not just on rails. Every quest can be approached in multiple ways depending on your timing, your choices, and whether you're playing as a human or vampire. Some paths like the cathedral scaffolds are only accessible at night. Others require stealth, diplomacy, or brute force. And major story beats, like the haunting blood baptism ceremony, seamlessly transition from cinematic cutscenes into interactive dialogue. The game doesn't just want to tell a story, it wants you to live it. It wants you to stumble, adapt, and own every consequence that unfolds. Your character build, your relationships, even your feeding habits could alter the fate of entire regions. The ripple effect from even minor decisions gives the game a weight that lingers. It dares to ask questions most games avoid. What does power cost? Who do you trust, and can you live with the aftermath? At its core, the Blood of Dawnwalker is built around contrast. Day and night, human and vampire, tactics and instincts. Even the 20-to-day cycle adds a strategic layer to exploration and mission planning. You're not just fighting monsters, you're racing time, shaping fate, and rewriting Coen's story through your decisions. You may find yourself forming uneasy alliances, betraying old friends, or unlocking secrets that fundamentally alter your understanding of the world. That contrast is what makes the gameplay loop so compelling. It forces you to think not just in terms of what's next, but who you want to be when you get there. The player isn't just shaping Coen's destiny, they're shaping the moral and political future of Vale Sangora itself. It's a game about legacy, about what we leave behind, and about how even the smallest moments can ripple through time. All in all, what we've seen so far is more than promising, it's evocative. The world of the Blood of Dawnwalker is brutal in its honesty, haunting in its design, and overflowing with potential that feels both personal and mythic. With rich lore, morally complex characters, and gameplay that asks as much from your heart as your hands, this game feels like the spiritual evolution of the modern RPG. Backed by a team forged in the fires of The Witcher 3 and powered by Unreal Engine 5, it doesn't just aim high, it reaches. If this pre-beta glimpse is only a middle chapter, then what lies ahead could redefine how we experience interactive storytelling. Dawnwalker isn't just trying to entertain, it's trying to move you. To leave you staring at your choices long after you've put down the controller. If it delivers on its potential, it won't just be a milestone in gaming, it'll be a mirror, a legend. And that's why, come 2026, when the night falls and Coen walks again, you'll follow. Not for the loot, not for the level ups, but for the reflection of yourself in a world that dares to remember everything you did and everything you didn't. Mark your calendars for 2026. The Blood of Dawnwalker isn't just a game to play, it's a journey to survive. When the credits roll, you won't just feel accomplished, you'll feel changed. Haunted by the decisions you made, driven to replay and rewrite your fate, and left wondering what might have happened had you chosen differently. This one won't just leave a mark, it'll linger.